You thought I would have learnt a lesson, wouldn't you, from the last video I made when I was repairing eBay junk, where it didn't end well, I think is the honest way of ending it. But no, I have been frantically buying more consoles, some of them with a variety of problems on them, most of them, as you can see, with display faults. I have received in the mail today another console, which I haven't opened yet, and I haven't investigated as to what the fault is. I know it is broken. It's come from J4U. I know it doesn't work because it was sold as non-working and junk. But the crucial thing is, and that's the reason why I was showing you all the others, the screen looked clean. It didn't look as if it had any burn on it. So if I can't get this one fired up, then I know, hopefully, he says hopefully, hopefully the screen will be good for me to use. So right, so there we go. That's what the console's looking like from the outset. Let's get this plastic band off. Let's have a look. That is clean. And when I say clean, there is no corrosion from batteries in there at all. So let's put some batteries in it and see what it does. Ooh. Oh, it works. Well, that's a short-lived video, isn't it? Let's just turn the contrast right up so it's completely black. And there's no lines there. Nothing. Well, this is going to be a short-lived video, isn't it? Okay, well, it's reading games. Now, thinking out loud here, that isn't a very desirable colour. So I've got two choices here. I could clean this up and it will clean up beautifully because there's no scratches on the corners, there's no scuffs around the edges here, and all it needs is a wash. And that's incredibly easy to do. And all I'd need to do is perhaps, to make it look brand new again, is just buy a replacement screen. However, if you remember, the last one I took apart, which failed completely, just bear with me, I'll pull it out, is this one. And this one here, complete with all its buttons and everything, yes, it's filthy, but it's the more desirable DMG colour. And I could, like I said, I could get a replacement screen for it. And I've just worked out as well, something that none of my other ones, these are the early ones as well, because they've got no red LED on them. So these are the early ones. So I could transplant all of this into this shell and buy a replacement screen and make it look absolutely immaculate. Right, let's go and wash the case.
Later.
Right, after some fettling around and fiddling around, the original glass that came off of this console is actually in better condition than this one. And you'll also notice this is a different colour to this one as well. So as much as I would like to transfer that one over, I think I'm better off cleaning this one up and trying to remove the marks off of it, which I think I will be able to do. Now theoretically, the marks should only be on the outside. So we'll give that a go. Now I've just been down into the kitchen to have a look to see if we've got anything underneath the cupboards, and I felt sure we had some Brasso down there because I was going to give Brasso a go. Let's see if we can get rid of some of these scratches, but I can't find it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this car paint cleaner. The idea is that this is a very mild cutting compound. Yeah, just got covered in the stuff. that's done a good job. That's done a really good job. By the time that's back on there like so, I think that's going to look okay. Let's get this label off. So like I said, this is our donor one, the one that arrived this morning in the post, and all we need to do to get it open is 6 screws, and these use tri-wing screws. So take the back off, and as you can see, that's now the inside the guts. Inside this one, I must say, this one looks filthy. Absolutely filthy. Something's been dropped in here. It looks like Coke maybe have been dropped inside here. It's absolutely disgusting. So we'll come back to the front in a minute. Let's focus on the back. So we need to take this out because I think, to be honest with you, this looks a lot neater, a lot nicer than this one. So let's swap them over. Right, we'll consign that one to the scrap bin. There is one thing I do want off of here though. It's the battery terminals. So again, push in, squeeze out, and that one then can then sit in our parts bin. So let's put the battery terminal in. So it goes in one way, but we should hear a satisfying click. There we go. So that's part in. Now we need to do is screw this in place. It only goes one way around. Finally, we're making some progress on rebuilding this thing now. Right, that's the back now ready. We can put that aside. There are 3 screws in here. These are not tri-ring, these are standard Phillips screwdrivers. These need to be unscrewed. There are 2 screen clips here on this ribbon. There's a white tab, they just pull straight out. So you can see there, they just pull straight up like so. That then allows us to gently lift the whole board up. As you can see, it's already happened. The screen display then just unclips and out it pops. These will go into our parts bin because they're actually in really good condition. Really good nick they are. Now, the tricky task of removing the LCD. This scares a lot of people. It used to scare me a little bit. And there is one way you can do this. You can twist them like so. Just gently rock them backwards and forwards. You can hear it unsticking quite nicely. And then using a plastic spudger, I just go in down one side and gently lift it to release it from the adhesive. And there we go. That is one perfectly intact, clean LCD. I'm not going to touch the front of this screen. I'm literally just going to put this straight into and straight onto our new screen here. And that's where that will sit. Right, now it's time to start putting things back together. Now, even though we saw that everything was working okay, there's a couple of preventative measures we can do to make sure that this carries on working as how we expect it. And we're using some isopropyl alcohol. I don't know why I struggle to say it. And there's a couple of areas we should really focus on. First of all, the switch. Using a Q-tip or a baby earbud or whatever you want to call them. Just soak that in some alcohol, and then we're going to dab it inside the switch, the power switch at the top there. This is the one thing that usually fails on these, actually. And I'm just going to literally load up the power switch with some alcohol, and then wiggle the switch backwards and forwards like so. This just cleans up any carbon off the tracks, just makes a good contact, and it cleans the internals of the switch. Another good place to do this is on the volume side in here. Again, load up the back of the resistor at the front and move it around just to clear up any carbon or anything which is inside there. Just cleans the tracks up. It's not essential, but it will stop any crackling on the speaker. And again, we can do the same for the contrast wheel as well over here. And we just load up the inside. And as you can see already how filthy that Q-tip has got already. So again, just wheel it around. You don't need to wipe it off because the alcohol will evaporate away. And that'll be that. Now, like I said, we can clean this up down here as well if we so wanted to, and I do, because I do like to have a nice clean device. And again, just using the alcohol and a Q-tip, we can just clean up some of this excess flux. So the speaker goes in first, and it locates so it doesn't spin. Everything looks as if it's tight, like so. We're not going to do the reverse, we're not going to put the screen in first, we're just going to screw it down in place first of all. So just get my 3 screws. Right, time now to put the screen connector back in. So again, just make sure that the white clips are pulled right out. If they're not right out, you'll be fighting against yourself. And it's just a case of bend down and wedge in, like so. And then just gently push it in, all the way, like so. I'm using the back of a pair of tweezers here, nothing sharp, just to push it all the way home, which it is, and then we just close the connector down. Stop one end, go to the other end, and just go backwards and forwards like so until it's home. And there we go. That's now all together. So all we need to do now is put our back on like so. Before we button it up, let's put some, that's one thing I've missed. Eagle-eyed viewers, what have I missed? The power switch, of course. Right, good. Now let's put the back on. There we go. And like I said, before we button it up, let's just prove that everything is okay. So turn it over. There we go. Phew. For a minute there I panicked.
3 weeks later.
So there we go, it's a week later, and as you can see, it looks really good. I've been playing this now for about a week, maybe 10 days, and it's been absolutely spot on. There was one problem with it though, that I noticed, and that was when I was initially playing it, the buttons were a little bit on the weak side. So I swapped the pads over the silicone rubbers on the inside after a couple of days, and it made a massive difference, and this was really good to go. The screen, although it's not backlit, is bright and you can really see it. It's very clear. It looks really nice. I'm really happy with it. I've been playing it for weeks and weeks and weeks, and as you can see already, my gameplay hasn't really improved, but none matter. I've got other games that I can play on here as well. So there we go. As you can see, it looks really good. The back looks superb. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I've ordered a sticker to go back on here, so that will go back on there in the next couple of days when it arrives online, and I'm really happy with how that one has turned out. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed this restoration of this Game Boy Pocket. I've got other ones in the pipeline here, sat behind me, ready to be repaired. Some of them have got broken displays, and some of them don't even power on. So maybe we'll get into those in a couple of days' time. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.